Hey girlfriends, here are my 8 ways for you to tell a man is insecure with trust issues off jump. Stay tuned.
Cause I've been that girl. I've been that girl.
Hey girlfriends, these are my top 9 ways that you can spot a guy that's insecure or has trust issues right up front. This means while you're dating and you're talking and getting to know him, you start picking up. These are some signs that you can pick up that I picked up, but of course I didn't pay attention to them. So now I'm gonna give them to you. Maybe you can pay attention to them so that when you're dating, you can tell if this guy's gonna be someone that has a lot of insecurity, because insecure guys tend to be very controlling. So we're gonna get into that first, about why it's important to not want a man that has these insecurities, jealousy, and control issues. Because of course, the main thing is they're gonna basically rain on your parade, and your self-love can't flourish in an environment like that. It's basically him, just the relationship is all about him. You're walking on eggshells, trying to make sure he's pleased, and he knows how to twist things around and manipulate you because he doesn't want to seem like the guy that has the issues. He wants it to be all you. You're the one with the issues, because of course, a guy admitting that he has some insecurity control problems is basically admitting that he's not a man. So they're never going to admit these things, but these are things that you can pick up and know for sure if he's one of those guys. And these are some of my experiences that I've experienced with dating these guys, because I've dated a lot of men in the past, whether there was a relationship that we were in like long-term relationships or just dating. I picked up on it right away. So here we go. I got a list I'm going to refer to as 9 ways. Number 1, if he becomes very passive aggressive when you're going out with friends or whatnot. Like, say if he's not going to come right out and say that, hey, I'm feeling a little bit jealous about this. He's going to basically try to be passive aggressive with it, or either gaslight you with it. He's going to make you feel bad for wanting to go out, or he's going to say things like, hey, then you already go out, or he's going to say, hey, you go out with them all the time, or hey, I see that you wearing that when you're going out. He'll say little things like that, like kind of nitpick at you. So pay attention to that. Like if you feel some sort of guilt every time you're trying to go out with your friends or your family or do something without him, and he makes you feel guilty for it, those are his insecurities coming out. He may even try to laugh it off or try to act aloof about it or whatnot. Pay attention to that. Because at the beginning, I'm not sure if some of you guys have read my book, Toxic Ex Chronicles, about John. In there, in the beginning, it was a lot of red flags. I'm sure everyone was reading, telling me, girl, leave. But that's another story. Anyway, in the book, he was very insecure. He didn't want me going out with my friends. He didn't want me doing anything without him. He was always just so controlling when it came to that. And I thought it was me, like, hey, I'm the woman, I'm supposed to be this certain way so I can make him feel at ease, but that's wrong. So we're gonna get into point number 2, which is he may have a history of being hurt, or he may just have some childhood traumas that he's still trying to heal through. Any of that. It's not for you to stick around and try to figure it out, but listen to how he talks about his past. Listen to how he talks about his exes. I give one example of a guy that I was just talking to. We were talking. I never really dated him. We just talked for about a month. But anyway, so on our first date, I remember, this was after my toxic relationship. So this was me trying to date normal guys. So trying to get back in the dating field and date for real, and not just get caught up in trauma bonds. So this was a guy that I was dating, trying to get to know. And I remember he would talk about his ex so harshly. He was still kind of bitter from a lot of it. And I let it go in one and out the other. I'm thinking like, oh, maybe he's just hurt, or oh, he's letting me in. That was my main thing. I was like, oh, he's letting me in. Oh, he's being vulnerable with me. No, he was still pretty much hurt from that relationship. I think the girl had cheated on him or something like that while he was overseas or something like that. And so he was still, very hurt from that. He had trust issues from that. So think about it. A guy that has that many trust issues from his past and he's still trying to heal, he's going to take that out on you. He's going to either play around with you and your feelings because he's unsure of his. So be careful with it. Listen to how he talks about his exes. Don't think they, oh, he's just being so vulnerable with me. Oh, he's opening up. Oh, no. Pay attention to that. Let's see. Number 3. Think about how if he has ever been in a long-term relationship. Like, ask him about his past relationships and what was his longest relationship. If they're all like short and here and there, or he's never really been in one for a long period of time, that could be a red flag to basically mean he has trust issues as well. So, and the thing is, with men like this, they may not get into relationships right away, or they may just have flings with a bunch of women because they're still working out some things and they still have trust issues. So that's another red flag to pay attention to as well. So basically, so far, if you notice the trend, is that you're supposed to be just listening and observing him. Like, in the beginning, don't get so caught up in like, oh, he's the best thing, and oh, he's this, oh, we're going to be married, oh, he's the one. This is why it's critical in the beginning to observe him and to vet him out and to see how this guy is. Learn about him before you're so quick to plan your future with him. Learn about him first. That's what the beginning, that's what dating is about. It's collecting data. So notice that the first top 3 are already just about observing him. So you can't go into dating just anxious to have someone come in and take that loneliness away. Because when you're anxious like that, that's what's going to cause you to miss these red flags and to not observe. Or you, if you're like me, you're going to observe it and see it, but you're going to go against it because you're just so ready to have someone. So keep that in mind as I'm reading these. Let's see. Number 4, you feel he isn't opening up. So by the time he's number 4, you probably have bypassed the top 3. You're like, okay, he opened up about his ex. He told me about her. He told me how he was hurt from her, but he won't open up about anything else. Or he won't talk to me about anything else in his life. He doesn't really let me in. That's another red flag. That means there's trust issues. Like, going back to what I said before, him opening up was just him letting you know I still have some bitterness from that past, from that relationship that I haven't quite healed. So that's a red flag to pay attention to. Now, I'm not saying that all guys that talk bad about their exes are insecure. The main thing here is to observe and use your own intuition. Remember that. Everything is situational. I don't want you to think that my way is the one way and what I say goes. You also have to listen to this, filter it out, listen to it, and observe it as you're watching him. He could be talking about his ex, just making conversation, or maybe relating to you. Maybe you brought up something about how you were in your past, and he's bringing it up as well. So you got to make sure you pay attention to that part. Because if on number 4 he doesn't open up about anything else, that's a red flag. That goes with what I said before. So if he's just opening up about exes or about past hurts and stuff he hasn't healed from, his bitterness towards it, if he's only opening up then, pay attention to that. Because the thing is, when you're trying to build a connection with someone, you're wanting them to open up, you want them to get to know them, that you're wanting them to securely attach, to let you in. That's how connections are built. So if he's not open up about anything else, or he seems very secretive, or like he's hiding a bit of himself, pay attention to that. Let's see, let's go to number 5. Oh, this is a big one. He starts off getting to know you with loads of compliments and a lot of flattery. That means he's just laying it on thick, like, oh, you're this and that. Some of these guys, they may be insecure, have trust issues, but they know how to lay it on thick on a woman if they're trying to get someone. Because the thing is, men with trust issues and insecurities, they still like women. They still want to have sex with women. They still want to have somewhat of a connection with a woman because they're just being selfish right now. They may have all of these things going on with them inside, but in some of these men's mind, they're thinking, oh, the right woman will erase all of that. So be careful with all that as well. So if, like, back to what I'm saying on number 5, he starts up getting to know you with a lot of compliments, and he's flattering you and doing all this, and he's just talking about how you're just the best thing he's ever met. Oh, you're gorgeous, or you're this and that. He's giving you all this sweet talk. And so the thing is, with the sweet talk, it's fine. I'm not saying that you're not none of the things he's telling you that you are. I'm saying that you have to listen with that and take it in, and also still pay attention to the other things that I told you about. Some guys like to hide their insecurities with that flattery, and they like to get you in. So that's one way they will do that, is by loading on the compliments. If they see that's a way to end with you and that you still need to hear that, that's what they're going to do. They're going to lay it on thick and You're going to feel like, oh, this is the best. He's the best I've ever had. Oh, he's just that and that. Oh, he's talking about me so kindly and so sweet. Oh, he likes me and all of that, especially if he's attractive and charming. But keep in mind, they have trust issues as well. So watch that. If he's giving you a bunch of compliments but not actually having a conversation and actually wanting to spend real time with you to get to know you, real dates and things like that, it's just sweet talk. Let's see. Number 6, he tries to take up all of your time. This is another big red flag. So, of course, in the beginning, you are wanting to build a connection and you are wanting to get to know this person, of course. But you also have to remain your individual life outside of them, you and him. So if he's just all about you, wants all of your time, gets a little jealous when you're spending time with everybody else, thinks that all weekends are supposed to be for him and you're not supposed to do anything else, that's a red flag. And like I said, back to what I said with number 1, if he's passive aggressive with you always going out, that's another way he would do it. With that as well, he will want you to just basically be all to himself because he's so scared of either losing you. He has abandonment issues. He's insecure, all of that. But like I said, in the beginning, when he's getting to know you, he may just do it passive aggressively. He's not going to come right out and say, oh, I thought you should be spending time with me. Or he may. Just pay attention to that. You do. It is okay. And you must maintain a life outside of him, and the same with him. Yes, spend time together. Yes, that's great. But you also had a life before him that you still have to maintain. So if he's trying to basically take up all your time to yourself, where you can't even have any time to yourself as well, or with your friends or family, because he can't trust that, red flag. Number 7. This is another one that's really big for me. If he brags a lot and is very boastful and he's just always pumping himself up and making himself seem bigger than what he is. A lot of guys with trust issues and insecurities, especially insecurities, they do this to hide the insecurities. They would basically put on this male alpha persona, like they're just the top of the world, this and that. So they can be very egotistical. So it's okay. It's one thing to have confidence, but it's another thing to basically just lie to yourself and always brag about yourself. And you'll know, when you'll feel it, if you're getting to know him and you're seeing this, all he's doing is just bragging or acting like he has this or has that, and you're noticing that it's just talk and he doesn't really have everything he says he has, that's a red flag. Like, both of my exes had this bad at the beginning. Once again, I refer to my book, Toxic Ex Chronicles John, which is, if you haven't read it, I'll make the link available, or you can go to my IG page, I've been that girl too, and check it out there and check out the reviews. But anyway, back to my book. If you were reading about John, he was very, very boastful in the beginning, just voluntarily giving me information about what he got. When he first told me, we met at work, and when he first told me about his job, he was like, yeah, it's not my only job, though. I got this, and I do that, and I do this. And I'm like, hey, I didn't ask for all this information. And that was foolish me. I saw it as a red flag, but I didn't quite know that it was going to damage me so much later, ignoring that red flag. So that's important. So that's how a lot of us got into the situations that we did. We saw those red flags, but we didn't think it would hurt us as much. So that's why we stuck around thinking we can just thug it out with them. So, no. That's one red flag. If he's very boastful and brags all the time, just excessively. Like, it's one thing to be confident and be proud of yourself, but it's another to be just bragging all the time, especially giving you information that you didn't even ask for, especially embellishing a bunch of the things he has and doesn't have. He would brag about the things he got. Just a lot of things. If you read the book, you know. And another example is with Sebastian, which is going to be my second book. Yes, that's coming out. But about Sebastian, he bragged a whole lot in the beginning as well. I remember I visited him in his apartment, and he instantly was like, yeah, I'm just staying here until my house get built. The house never came. And I knew it was because my best friend is married to his best friend. And I knew there was no house. It was just this apartment. But every time I came over, because this apartment was in a hood part of town. It was, but I wasn't judging him. I didn't care. I just wanted to be with him. But he instantly thought I was judging him. And as soon as I came to the apartment, he's like, yeah, this is just where I'm staying there for now. I'm getting a house built. It's a big house. I'm getting marble floors, and I'm getting that and that and that. None of that ever happened. He was just bragging to basically cover up his own insecurities. So pay attention to that. That's a big red flag. It's not something you can just ignore and think, oh, it's okay. he's just doing it to make himself feel better. No, that's a lot of insecurity and control that's hidden under all of that. And it will end up coming out later if you keep talking to this person. Let's see. Another one. I thought I had 9. I guess I only got 8. But the last one is he compares you to other women. This is annoying. They'll do it sometimes so discreetly, or like they're being nice about it, or they're just joking about it. But it's a major red flag. And I really didn't like how my ex Sebastian, he did this. The one I was just referring to, he did that a lot. Talk about the women he saw on TV, talk about how sexy they were. It's as he was almost comparing me to them. And my ex John, from my book that is out, he also did a little bit of it as well, compared me to the girls that would dance. He wanted me to dance like other girls he saw doing, wanted me to do that. But they're always just comparing you. And I'm not sure why they do this exactly. I have not dived that deep on that part. But I've noticed that it's in a lot of men that act like that. I guess they're trying to make you feel as low as they feel. So they're like, okay, you're not as all that as you think you are, because I'm not as all that as I think I am. So they're trying to make you feel that way by saying, hey, here's another woman that looks a little better than you, that's doing a little something extra than you. You're not all that like you think you are, or like I think that you are. Because these men with these insecurities and trust issues, they see your worth and they think that you are all that. Think you really got it going on, because that's why they want you. But the thing is, they think they don't deserve you. So pay attention to that and listen to all of these things that I just said. I'm going to go back over them in a minute, but the main thing is that they think they don't deserve you. So that's why it's important to check for these things and not want a man that's that insecure or that controlling. Like, you may just think, oh, he's just being a man. He'll get over it once he sees I'm a good woman. No, he's never going to see you in that light, because he thinks that he does not deserve you. So that's the main reason why you want a man that's secure with himself, that feels good about himself, that knows who he is, so that he knows when he has you that he deserves you. So a quick rundown of what I said to pay attention to. We're going to go back with number 1. If he's very passive aggressive when you're going out with your friends, meaning he's not going to just come out and say, hey, I'm an insecure piece of shit and I have controlling ways. He's going to basically do it passive aggressively, like, oh, I said you're going out again. Oh, you're wearing that. Oh, you always out with your friends, aren't you? Oh, and this and that. Pay attention to that. Number 2, listen to how he talks about his exes, if he has a history of being hurt. So him opening up to you about his exes and only that is a red flag. That means he's still maybe not over that, and still some hurt there. Number 3, he's never been in a long-term relationship, meaning that he just had maybe little flings here and there, or relationships that lasted like maybe a few months or whatnot, only because as soon as he would get a little attached, he would get out because of trust issues. So that's another red flag as well. Number 4, you feel he isn't opening up. Like I said before, going back to number 3, he only opens up when he talks about exes and past hurts, but he doesn't open up about any other areas of his life. And he's keeping you shut out. So that means he's really not as vulnerable as you think he is. He's just still hurt. Number 5, if he starts off getting to know you with loads of compliments, he's loading it all up, making you feel all good. That's his way of getting you to come into him and to like him and to want him. Once he has you hooked and he knows that, then that's when all of that would end. So if he's just loading it on heavy and thick, like I said, it's fine to hear the compliments. It's fine to feel like, oh, that, he likes me and I'm all of that. But let it in one ear and out the other, and keep paying attention and observing him. Let's see. Number 6, he tries to take up all your time, meaning he may do this passively aggressively too, meaning he's going to take up all of your time. He's wanting to basically just be you and him. Whenever you go out, he gets upset, or he has to control it, or he's maybe calling you. If you're out and he's always calling you, seeing what you're doing, wanting to hear the background, little things like that. So if you just want all of your time, you feel like you don't have any free time, or you feel guilty every time you're trying to go out and do something without him, red flag. That's not going to go away. Let's see. And number 7, he brags and boasts excessively about his things. Like I said, they do this because they're basically trying to have their own insecurities. It's just the front. So they'll make themselves feel bigger than what they really are, because it makes them feel good, and it makes them put off this alpha male persona, like, hey, I'm this guy and I'm not really as weak. I'm not this weak guy I feel on the inside. I'm really this, but I'm putting up. Pay attention to that. And the last one, number 8, he's always comparing you to other women. Like I said before, he's doing this because he's basically wanting to put you down to feel how he feels about himself. He's wanting to basically make you feel small because he sees you as this big person. He sees your worth, but he doesn't want to let on that. He knows that because he feels if you know that you got him like that and that he sees your worth, he feels you're going to realize it and leave him for someone else that maybe deserves you. Deep down, these guys do not feel they deserve a woman like you. They may try to twist it around and make you feel like it's you or like you're low like them or that you have no worth or that you're really nothing. They may try to play with your emotions, give you intermittent reinforcement to where they're giving you a little love, taking it away and hurting you the same way. And you're going to think it's me. I need to perform and do better and audition for this guy to get him to act right. But really all along, you're the one with the worth. So always carry that with you. Carry that with you throughout as you're dating, knowing that I'm the prize, I'm the one with the worth, I'm the one that does the choosing. So when you get with these guys and you start dating them, you can pay attention to these 8 signs that I told you about, and through it all, you're basically staying grounded. That's the main key point I want you to take away, is to remain grounded so that you can look for these red flags and you can observe this guy instead of just looking at him as to be the one to take away your loneliness or the one to make you feel good about yourself or the one that you can have a sex buddy with. Like maybe you just wanted to do that. Like you got to basically stay grounded and know what you want, know who you are, and pay attention to these things. So that wraps that up. Hope you guys learned something from this. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm on Instagram at I've Been That Girl Too. Once again, on Instagram, it's where I basically post 2 key points to talk about, and I do a poll, and you guys can decide on which one that I can talk about for the next YouTube video. Other than that, my books, they're out. I have 2 out. Toxic X Chronicles, John. It's about my first toxic relationship, and it's part of a 3-part series. And the 3-part series is basically chronicling from when I was in the toxic relationships to when I got out and became the woman I am now. So that's what that is. Part 2 will be about Sebastian. I know you guys are awaiting that, but that book is going to take some time. It's going to be just as thick as the other, just as detailed. It's going to have everything in it, I promise. So that's going to take time because I still got to work. So I'm writing that. And I have a quote book out that has a lot of my reflections, a lot of my captions and quotes from Instagram, but not just my captions and quotes. It also has a lot of my self-reflections of my journey to self-love and my journey from healing from past traumas and things of that nature. So it's not just a quote book. It's not like it's not 10 little words on each page and it's a quick read. It's something that you can really self-reflect upon and really hear my self-reflections to help you dig into your own. So that's what that one is about. And I do have another one coming out that's going to more so deal with how to detach and how to love yourself. That's going to be called He's Not the Last Man on Earth. So be on the lookout for that. You can subscribe on my website. That's www.I'veBeenThatGirl.net. That's I'veBeenThatGirl.net. And you can find all this on my IG page. That's the quick way to get to everything that I'm talking about here and to keep up with everything. You can see my highlights, all of that. And that's my IG once again is I've Been That Girl Too. Well, that wraps it up to next video. Girlfriends, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for watching.